I was flipping through a few channels the other day, and I noticed that a lot of news were doing segments about people who had gotten arrested for doing certain crimes. They talked about what they did and how long they had served jail time and their fines and their fees. I change this channel again, and you see a celebrity, their mugshot all over the TV. And you hear about what they did, which is the same crime as ordinary people. A few days later, you see their pictures everywhere on TV and magazines talking about how they were so happy to get free and how that was the worst time of their life. A few days later, when other people were still in jail. It made me realize how unfair our justice system was and how ordinary people got off on the bad side of it, while celebrities got to go back to their mansions. Until I realized, why doesn't everybody else become famous and get the same treatment as well? Let's look at a few examples. Let's say you committed a crime like getting pulled over, having drugs, something like that. Most people would get jail time, fees, stuff like that. But famous people can get away with almost anything. You have animal cruelty. Usually you'll get about a fine up to $4,000. You can even get jail time up to 2 years. But you have Michael Vick, who was arrested for having dog fighting rings, electrocuting dogs, and even had a female dog who was tied up and left to be raped and molested and even beat up by other male dogs. He wasn't sentenced with anything. Instead, he was able to go sign with the Eagles and play football and make millions of dollars. You have drug abuse and usage. People get fines, they get jail time, suspension of license, home arrest, and pretty much their lives get ruined. But you have Robert Downey Jr., who for almost 20 years has spent most of his life doing drugs. The most he got was maybe a year in state prison and a little bit of rehab, and that was it. You have Lindsay Lohan, who lasted maybe 2 months in jail. You have Snoop Dogg, you have Amy Winehouse, and you have Charlie Sheen, all with the same sentences and spending no time. While you have ordinary people still in jail to this day. Then you have inappropriate relations with a minor. Most people go up to 20 years in prison for this. They can even get fines for it. But you have R. Kelly, who was shown with a video to the courts of him having an inappropriate relationship with a 14-year-old. It led to 21 counts of having sex with a minor, which was later then reduced to only a few minor child pornography. But he was pleaded innocent by a jury of his own peers. But the worst of all is murder. Matthew Broderick killed 2 women in a crash with his vehicle. Most people would get charged with murder with a vehicle. Yeah. And they get charged up to 20 years. He was only given a fee of $175. So why don't we have more people trying to be famous? It's quite simple if you look at everybody that we have who's famous. You have actors and actresses. All they do is read other people's lines and act it out. You have athletes who know how to throw a ball, score a couple of points, and can run really fast. You have your heirs and your heiresses who are born into it or who marry into it. If people gave a little bit of effort and a little bit of time, you could be one of these famous people. Let's look at this visual. Say you're an ordinary person. You commit a crime, you go to court, you go to jail. If you're a celebrity though, you say you commit the same crime, you go to court. You get to go back home to your mansion. More people would prefer going home to a nice house than having to go to jail. So why not become famous like everybody else? Put in a little bit of effort, a little bit of time, and you can be one of those people that don't do time for their punishment.